Case 13 from The Transvestites, The Erotic Drive to Cross-Dress by Magnus Hirschfeld. Magnus Hirschfeld was an influential medical doctor and advocate for sexual liberation in the late 1800s, and early 20th, early 1900s centuries. He thought that most people could be considered sexual intermediaries who combined a variety of physical and psychological traits in innumerable potential mixtures that existed somewhere on a spectrum between a hypothetical pure heterosexual male and pure heterosexual female. What we now call homosexuality or transgender identity were just two of the visible constellations in a rainbow of possibilities that encompassed all people. Hirschfeld founded the Scientific Humanitarian Committee in 1897 based on his belief that, as sexual intermediaries, gay and trans people were part of natural biological diversity and that a rational society should not discriminate against them. In 1919, he opened the world's first Institute for Sexual Science in Berlin. The institute had trans women on its staff, and doctors associated with it performed the first documented male-to-female genital transformation surgeries. In spite of his explicit targeting by fascists and his generally progressive views, Hirschfeld nevertheless shared some of the eugenicist beliefs that inform Nazism, as well as mainstream sexological thought. Hirschfeld's 1910 book, The Transvestites, situated cross-gender behavior within his sexual intermediaries framework. He used the word transvestite in a more general sense that has become common in recent decades to refer to all sorts of people who crossed gender, everything from episodic fetishistic cross-dressing for sexual pleasure to non-erotic cross-dressing in daily life, to desires for medically assisted gender transition, later classified as transsexualism. In Case 13, Hirschfeld's informant is someone who seems very much like a contemporary trans woman. She describes always having felt like a girl, experiencing childhood and adolescent gender dysphoria, and running away from home to live as a woman. She tells of her friendships with working-class lesbians and female sex workers, recounts her experiences of sexual assault and harassment by men, and expresses an explicitly feminist politics. In this case study, Hirschfeld describes how the publishers of a German feminist journal had forwarded to him a letter they had received in 1905 from someone who wrote to suggest that the publication establish a registry where manly women and womanly men could find one another, something like a T4T dating service. Hirschfeld then began a correspondence with this person, identified only as Joanne or Joanna O., which confirmed his suspicion that here was a case of a typical representative of the group we are concerned with, that is, transvestites. I am abstracting here, Hirschfeld explained, the most noteworthy parts of his very detailed reports.